Coming at you live from my home studio in, we'll call it Los Angeles adjacent-ish. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Only I gotta find my button. There it is. And you're super quiet. The one last thing I forgot to check. What a dumbass. What is going on, gang? On today's show, happy 2024. We're that much closer to seeing Shohei Ohtani in a Dodger uniform for real in the batter's box. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, hey, maybe even Shota Imanaga. We got to talk Dodgers rumors already for the new year. These are rumors from last year we'll touch on. There was a little bit of a Dylan Cease update that really is nothing, but I just wanted to bring it up because to me, it pretty much means there's not going to be a trade this winter. But all that and more things on the first edition of All Dodgers Live of 2024. I am Clint Pasillas. If you don't know, find me as Real FRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on all the things. And let me know where you guys are representing your Dodgers fandom today here in the new year. I want comments. We'll keep this show loose and light. Programming notes. We will be live again. I will be live again on Tuesday. And we finally have it locked in. Yes, the special guest. I will pull back the curtain now. It's Doug. Doug's finally going to join me. My boy Douglas DMac_LA. He's been sick, so we're trying to get him right. His voice is all blown out today. You know, he's probably having too many champagne shoeies for New Year's Eve last night, but he will be joining me on the stream, and it'll be just like old times, at least for one more night, gang. So consider giving this video a thumbs up for DMac joining us here on my channel, and you guys hanging out with us in the chat. I'm going to go into the chat right here. Got to find the right mouse, and let's go. Carnivorous Lunar Activity in the chat says, DMac and Clint with the fire emojis. Let's do, that seems like a good one. Feels like I still got to turn that one up. Nando390 said, DMac rage too hard for New Year's. Obviously, you know him. He's a big-time party animal. Let's see. Diane Schroeder's in the stream said, smash the like button on the way in. That is always a smart idea. And if you're not subscribed, do it. It's 100% free to subscribe. And every time there's more numbers there, it makes me feel like a woman. I'm sorry, guys. It's new year, new me, or whatever. Captain Diego in the stream saying, let's go, or let's goo, whatever you want to say with that one. Edwin Martinez in the chat saying, yo, Austin Brubaker saying, happy new year, Clint. Happy new year, Austin. Happy new year to everybody here. Again, that much closer to meaningful Dodger baseball in about a month's time. We're going to be very, very excited about the prospects of spring training being real, being right around the corner. And of course, the Dodgers open their season, their regular season, with 2 odd games in Korea. So they're going to report to camp even earlier. That's that much more excitement for this fan base when we finally get to see all the shots and these guys laughing and having a good time. And all of us as well. Rubik's Uno on the YouTube says, happy new year, thanks for checking in. LC in the chat says, happy new year, everyone. I don't think they signed Imanaga. I am going to talk a lot about Imanaga, or a little bit, however much Imanaga we can handle. We will talk about it. Caleb's in the stream saying, happy new year, Clint. Happy new year to you, Mr. Caleb. Find young scribe on the internet. Go find him on the internet and give us a follow. People excited, of course, about the Blue Heaven reunion that we'll call it with me and Doug. It should be fun tomorrow. Him and I have been talking we never stopped talking, but still, I've been talking about trying to make the damn thing happen, and we finally got it figured out. So as long as he doesn't get murdered or exploded, we should be good to go with Doug on Tuesday here live, and a lot more cool stuff I got planned this week on the channel. So one last note, don't forget I'm also on your podcast platforms now. I just did Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. So if you want to not watch, or you can't watch live, or you want to listen again, go over there, find it. I think I have it as All Dodgers Podcast with Clint Pasillas. Subscribe, leave a review if you can. It really helps out those channels, those platforms. Right Field Pavilion in the chat saying Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year, Right Field Pavilion. And you're here just in time if you're just checking in, because it's time for Imanaga Watch 2024. Are you guys excited? So last week, and I kind of teased it, I was going to talk about it in Friday's video where I just decided to go all in on the Hader talk. If you guys didn't watch that, check it out. I enjoyed talking a little bit about the Josh Hader rumors to LA, which I think were mostly brought up by Bob Nightingale, but I digress. So there was a report out of a Japanese outlet that linked Shota-san, as we call him, Shota Imanaga, to the Dodgers, saying that the team was considering acquiring the star left-hander. There was a few other things in there, and you know, I'll say I have another note, but I'll save it for later. But I guess, you know, the question is are they going to get are the Dodgers going to get another one of these star Japan samurai pitchers to add to this we'll say boosting or growing starting rotation, because it feels like they really do want one more guy. I think some folks feel like they really need one more guy in that rotation. I talked about it in the last stream last Thursday about how this team can kind of get away without having another big arm or whatever it is, because they'll be able to buy some time with the schedule and the way that'll help. But we'll kind of talk about that more in line in a second. But let me pull up the article here. I wanted to look at it again. Of course, this is all translated via the Google Translate, so take it with the grain of salt that you want. And you know, every one of the shows, every podcast has already kind of covered this in some way, and now you guys get to hear me also talk about it. So mash that thumbs up for that one. But this article from whatever Kokokara is, so shout out to kokokara-next.com. This is where we're at, gang. But Swing Completo LLC, which handles baseball information, this is me reading here, says the Dodgers are interested in Shota Imanaga. And where was it? Media says as the year draws to a close, the Dodgers have made the two most surprising moves in recent memory. But it says the Dodgers Japan project is far from over. They have their sights set on left-hander Shota Imanaga. It seems like they're going in on that on Imanaga and his market. Of course, he's coming from the Yokohama Bay Stars of the NPB. He was posted shortly after Yamamoto, and his posting window closes on January 11th. So I think from what we've seen, the plan was his representation mentioned that they weren't going to start really seriously fielding offers until after the new year. I think it was also after the new year, and waiting for the Yamamoto signing and that whole market to kind of wrap itself up. So now you have, you know, the it's a short window, but the floor is clear for Imanaga, and he should be able to find himself a team pretty damn soon, or pretty quickly if he really, you know, wherever he wants to go. I would imagine people would be able to, teams would be able to sign him pretty quickly. Left-handed pitcher, something we like, something this team needs. Only 30 years old, so we've seen this team have success with, we'll call them older pitchers in the past. Put together a pretty good season last year, 2.66 ERA, 24 starts with the Bay Stars. You know, if this team, and we'll get into the chats right now, if this Dodgers team does want to buy itself more time for the prospects, for the Emmett Sheehan's, for the Gavin Stones, Kyle Hertz, Nick Frassos, Landon Knax, this is the move to make. I don't know how, you know, excited I am about, like, I don't want to pay, it's not my money. I don't want to see this team pay the you know, whatever the hell it's going to cost for Jordan Montgomery, when I'm not excited about a Jordan Montgomery. I would rather see Imanaga. If he's just there, he's, you know, just money plus the posting fee. Granted, Montgomery would not cost a draft pick because he was traded, so he does not have a qualifying offer attached. But again, Imanaga, I mean, I guess the same with Montgomery. It fills the need in this Dodgers rotation for a left-handed pitcher. I really do like Imanaga. I've seen the comp as well, but you can see it just watching him. He gives off those real Yusei Kikuchi vibes, where he's just out there, he's hucking the ball. He throws about 95, got the nasty splitter like most NPB pitchers who are dominant have. And again, it gets the team that much closer to some idea of the six-man rotation. And like I already said, I think the schedule is really on this team's side. I talked about it in the last live stream, and I also cut that and put it out as a standalone video in a little more concise way on Sunday or on the 31st. If you guys didn't check it out, go there, give it a thumbs up, all that kind of stuff. But this Dodgers team schedule really lets them give more time off for the first couple of months through like mid-June. You can buy time, a couple extra days here and there for Yamamoto, for Glasnow, for Bobby Miller, and then whenever Walker Buehler is able to join the rotation, he doesn't need to go every fifth day. So they're in a good spot there. And then you do have some dudes who have major league experience that you can lean on with Sheehan, with Stone. You're in a good spot. I mean, hell, even Kyle Hurd, even though he relieved, but you have some depth there where you can buy yourself some time or what have you. Make it to the point where hopefully maybe perhaps they re-sign Clayton Kershaw. But anyways, to stop mumbling and stop stammering and whatever, let's get into the comments here, because I want to get into the comments. I'm a little, obviously, hey, you know what, your boy got home late and maybe had a beverage or two last evening. So it's a happy Monday the 1st. Shout out to the Mrs. getting us some tea, Mrs. FRG, tea before the show. Excitement. Aren't you having fun? I'm definitely gonna butcher that name, but I think I got Zhao Bandin. If I messed it up, you're welcome. When is the earliest Sasaki can come over? There's also been the Roki Sasaki. I don't even know if they're rumors, but he wants to be posted in the next big thing out of Japan. He wants to be posted next year, or he wants to come to the States. He wants to come to MLB next year. And as I grab my tea and not drink it. Shut up, chair. He wants to be posted, and there are some folks that are very worried about the Dodgers also being able to get him. Again, it wouldn't be posted. He would be able to, I don't remember the exact language, how it works, but he would be able to come to Major League Baseball, but not have to go through the posting, period, or the posting window, and not cost another team all of that money, or cost a Major League team all that money going back to his NPB team. I don't know exactly how it works. I'll look it up, and I'll have something on it. Other people that are smarter than me have done the research. I wasn't really planning talking too much about Sasaki, but it's what Shohei Ohtani did in 2018. Where he essentially is treated as like an international free agent or something. So I don't know, but anyways, Sasaki not an option this year. Could be next year. So there's that. I totally nailed all that. I promise. William Boyce, I think I said that right, or Boise. Already the Japanese pipeline established. Would signing Imanaga hurt our chances to sign Sasaki next year possibly? Is there too many starting pitchers at that point? I do have a point I want to talk about that, and I do think so. I think if you sign Imanaga, all of a sudden you're looking at 2025. It's not just about Sasaki. It's also about some of your minor league dudes. It's also about, extending Walker Buehler and all that. What is their plan with him? And Shohei Ohtani presumably is going to be in the starting rotation. So let's pin that for a second, stick to the comments, and then I'll really want to dive into that. I do really want to dive into that in a bit. But Brett asked me, Brett Hartley on the YouTube says, who is my untouchable pitching prospect at the moment? I don't really know that I have one. I'm not as attached to these dudes as some of these other folks are. Some of the other prospect huggers, as they like to call themselves. Like I'm fine seeing Sheehan go in the right deal. I wasn't overly excited by what Gavin Stone showed last year. I think it was just a bad debut, and then it all snowballed from there. But I don't know if there is one. You could trade anybody. You could really trade anybody from, you know what, I'll say my most untouchable pitching prospect, because he's going to be a rookie, is Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So that's my cop-out right there. I think anybody is available. Maybe I'll just throw out a Maddox Bruns, because why not? This team is, or this organization is so deep in right-handed pitching prospects, and Maddox Bruns is one of the only left-handed starting pitching prospects they have. So I'm partial to lefties, but that's what I got with there. Let's see, a little behind. Diane says almost 200 in the house. I don't know where we're at right now, but tell your grandma, tell everybody, tell her to join us right now, because why not? Big Lou says, the man, the myth, the legend, Clint the GOAT. Thank you, Big Lou. I'm going to give you the clap for being nice. Dodgers 2080. Mr. Tim Rogers says, hey, Clint, Happy New Year, Tim. How you doing? Thanks for hanging out with us. Tim would be somebody that would probably know more about the Roki Sasaki. He's probably already put out a video. Admittedly, I was not very active on YouTube today. I was more sleepy. But check out Dodgers 2080 here on the YouTube. Go give him a subscription. He definitely deserves it. One of the hardest working dudes in show business here. A lot of Roki Sasaki questions. I guess I should have been more prepared about Roki Sasaki, but he's not a 2024 option. That's the reality of it. And if this team does want to line itself up to potentially be able to sign him, then maybe the Imanaga signing isn't the best route to go. I don't know how somebody like a Yamamoto would feel having essentially the whole samurai rotation, the Japan samurai rotation there in LA. I don't think all of that's gonna happen. But then again, it seems like the what we've seen in the past, and this is all very clearly not well thought out right now. I'm put on the spot. There's lights in my face. I hear myself. I hate the sound of that guy. No, but I don't know. I guess I'm gonna hold my Sasaki thoughts until I have more clear and prepared ideas about it. But the thought I guess I'll leave with is it feels more like pitchers coming from Japan are more open to pitching with other pitchers from Japan or playing with other players from Japan. Well, we haven't seen that too much in the past. There has not been a bevy of multiple Japanese stars on one team. So it seems like that's becoming okay. And if so, that would be really fun to see Sasaki, Yamamoto, and Shohei heading a Dodgers starting rotation in 2025. But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. IB Strokin said, consider it smashed. And you know what? Said the way I said, I love the statement I just made. That would be the thumbs up button, of course. Young Yi says Ohtani will pitch in 2025. I'm very excited to see Ohtani pitch in 2025. But again, that's another guy that expands the starting pitching options, adds to the starting pitching depth that this team will have after this season. And it's really good depth they have already going into 2024. And I spoke about that. The team spoke about that at Yamamoto's signing last week. And I spoke about that in my live stream from last Thursday or whatever it was. And again, the shortened version I dropped on Sunday. This team seems to be really, really leaning on what they already have. I think they're okay with what they already have, especially in terms of some of the young dudes, some of the Sheehan's, the Stones, the Frassos, the Hurts, the Landon Knacks. So Alfonso says, Tim Rogers, love his stuff. That's right. Always give me a thumbs up for Tim Rogers. And he's going to be going live at 9 p.m. Pacific time tonight. So join him a little bit later on. Let's see. Let's see if I'm missing anything before. I don't know what that one is. I'm not going to address a Doug question about his stuff. He doesn't have much control about what we have on the mics sometimes. But anyways, let me get back to my Imanaga thoughts. So with where things stand right now, According to reports on Imanaga, he's seeking a 5-year deal somewhere in the neighborhood of 85 million to 100 million. So it's not a extremely painful contract. And to have it 5 years, you would assume there's an opt out after 2 or 3. It's real. I mean, it's not team friendly, but it's not something you're paying for all eternity. He has been linked to the Dodgers. He's been linked to the Red Sox. He's been linked to the Giants, the Yankees. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cubs get in there because the Cubs haven't done shit this offseason. Gut tells me, though, Red Sox and Giants have the inside edge on him. But with what we're seeing in Dodger camp, if they're willing to spend the money, I would rather them see. I'd rather see them spend whatever it is, $100 million on Imanaga over $100 million on Hader. That's my thought. I do have a whole thing I want to do about the Dodger bullpen, by the way, which I think is a lot better than some people might think. I was going to do it in this stream, but I decided I'm going to save it for another standalone video where I could really just go whole hog on it. So thumbs up, subscribe, all that kind of stuff so you find out when that one goes out. So let me talk about this. The one thing I don't like for the Dodgers, one thing I don't like about signing Shota Imanaga is that it does block the prospects. Going back, we already kind of addressed this a little bit in the chat, but by 2025, you have a rotation of Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Bobby Miller. Those dudes are definitely locks because they would be under contract. But what is the long-term plan with this team and Walker Buehler? What's the long-term plan with Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin? Both of them should be recovered from Tommy John surgery and ready to compete for a spot in the 2025 rotation. And how does this team really view guys like Emmett Sheehan, Gavin Stone, Nick Frasso, Landon Knack, Kyle Hurt, going down the line, River Ryan, I already mentioned Maddox Bruns. Like, how do they view those dudes in the long run? Because even if the plan for all eternity going forward is going to be a 6-man rotation, or for the next 3 to 5 years, you still have more dudes than rotation spots. So it's a great problem to have. Absolutely. All of that talent. But that's the one nitpick I have about if they do sign Imanaga. Yeah, you have a lot of talent, and now all of a sudden, you letting guys walk? Are we trading dudes? Depends on how you guys feel, how we all feel about Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin or whatever. I think a lot of people are out on Gonsolin after last year, even though he was clearly pitching hurt. Dustin May can't stay on a mound for more than like 9 starts at a time. I don't know if those 2019 call-ups are going to really prove out in this league, but drop into the comments. Let me know your thoughts about that. I'm interested in seeing if I'm off base. If you guys think I'm off base about Imanaga holding back prospects, because if they're not going to trade them, what's the point? You know, we can't have, let's just say, talking Michael Busch again. We can't have him being 32 and still in the minor leagues. You know, it's like, figure it out, give these guys an option or an opportunity, or send them somewhere and bring back talent, which you would have assumed they might have tried. I mean, they did with the Tyler Glasnow trade, but maybe Burns, maybe Willie Adames working out something with the Brewers. Stop holding on to so many guys who are just getting older, and you're kind of, I don't know about throwing away their careers, but you're definitely not helping them out. Getting into the comments here. Let me scroll to where we're a little bit closer right here. Marv323 says, to me, Gonsolin is overrated. Dude only had one good half. And we have seen that with some of these guys in the past. You know, I'm reluctant to say a buddy of mine, Ross Stripling, you know, he was a very serviceable, useful pitcher, but he also had one electric first half, and then, you know, the team maybe relied on him a little bit more or a little bit too long in the starting rotation at different points in time. And, you know, just he wasn't an all-star or a consistent all-star caliber pitcher. The Dazine 209, thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube, says got to trade some prospects. I agree. I'm really surprised they haven't done more, but also if they are going to trade prospects, what do they need to really fill? What roles, what holes on the roster do they really need to fill outside of like left field. But I think they're kind of comfortable with what they have. I think they're going to find somebody kind of last minute to just give them a little bit more optionality, as Dave and the front office likes to call it, whatever that may be. It's not going to be Teoscar Hernandez. But if it's CT3 starting in left field, I have concerns about CT3 and James Outman, manning left and center field. And guess what? You also have Josh Hayward in right field, who had one comeback Cinderella year, and then the fourth outfielder is Manuel Margot, who nobody's excited about. So I would agree that getting more help in the outfield would be the way to go. But you make the trade for Randy Arozarena, that's still just one guy, and now you have this other part of the roster crunch, unless you're finding a way to send a CT3 contract to Tampa, which is not going to happen. I don't know. We're spinning our wheels here, but I agree they need to trade some prospects, and they need to fill a couple of holes. I see a lot of Neil Casimoto in the chat saying need a third baseman. You guys who watched me at all last year know how I feel about Max Muncy at third baseman. I love Max. Absolutely great human being, a killer bat when he's on, can carry a team at times. I do feel like we're going to see a better version of Max Muncy at third base this year, though. When he sets his mind to something, he does get better at it. So I will give the benefit of the doubt to Max that he could figure it out at third base. But the reality is, as we sit here right now, Neil, you're right. Like, you would like to see a better defensive third baseman there, especially if you're going to have some dudes that can get some ground ball outs. That left side of the infield concerns me, because I also see some folks in here. I saw somebody mention shortstop. The Zine 209 saying, not sure I trust Lux at shortstop. I'm not sure how I feel about Lux at short after the knee injury and after the surgery. That one is definitely concerning for me. Mario Torres says need a 3B left field and shortstop. That whole left side of the Dodger diamond. I'll do it for you guys. It's this side. Yeah, that's a little. It could be better, but also what if they do well? What if things turn out well? It very much could turn out well. James Mancia says, at this point, the prospects are like trade chips to get elite or MLB ready talent. Yes, I mean, at all points, that's what good prospects should be. But it seemed like for the last few years, you can't even say that, because this team is always ready and willing. This front office is always ready and willing to trade away guys to fill clear needs, but more often at the deadline. We did see them fill a clear need or massively improve the roster this offseason by trading away two guys and getting Glasnow. A couple years ago, you guys remember this dude named Mookie Betts? That was a massive trade. Like, at the time, when you're looking at Alex Verdugo, Jeter Downs, Connor Wong, like, they sent some talent over there, and then of course ate the David Price contract. But that was a pretty damn big trade at the time. They're willing, and they're ready to fill voids. But I just don't know if this front office views 3B and shortstop in particular as voids the way we might perceive them as voids. Taco Salad, great name. I'm gonna give that one as a bike bell, because why not? Taco Salad says, I'm worried that after the strong start to the offseason acquisitions, the Dodgers might fall short putting together the best team to win a championship this year. So with where they stand, and great point. Appreciate the comment and appreciate you hanging out with us here. One thing that this team does do really well is set itself up for potential improvement at the trade deadline. You could enter the 2024 season with exactly what they have, the exact roster that they have, and give it a trial run for 3 or 4 months. They're not going to be out of a playoff hunt with the roster they have. Like I said, to end a hot take I had last week, we don't need to see this team go out and win 100 games. I don't even care about really seeing them win the division, be good enough to get into the postseason and go from there. If it's injuries, if it's an imperfect roster for 4 months, if we have another year where the Giants, like when they went Super Saiyan and it was all, fake luck or whatever it was in 2021, if that happens again, it is what it is. Make it to the playoffs, be better. Be better than you have been the last 2 years. And I think that's the only thing that's important, is being better in the playoffs. So if you go 500 for the first 3 months, the trade deadline's coming up. They could find a way to make some moves. And the good thing is this team is still going to be, even if they find another way to make a trade and send away 3 dudes or whatever it is in a deal, they're still going to have enough prospect capital to make just about any trade they need to at the trade deadline or before next year. And currently they have some money to play with before they hit that highest tax penalty threshold, the Steve Cohen tax, as they like to call it. So Dodgers, as good as they enter the offseason, good of a place as they enter the offseason, they remain in a great place to make moves, swing deals, and they've also already added Tyler Glasnow, Shohei Ohtani, I think he's pretty good, and then Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Moving on to the comments, great stuff there. Diane said a little bit ago, 300 in the house. Let's go. Keep it going. Hit that thumbs up. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And also we appreciate Diane being in the chat and making the people show their love as best as they can. Diego Pardo, you rarely see this. Diego Pardo says Lux comeback player of the year. You know what? This would be Gavin Lux's in your face sucker moment. He could get them in your face sucker moment if he comes back and just shows out. He balls out. I think I was talking to Casey Porter, Dodgers Daily, a couple weeks ago, and we talked about Lux. It was either him or I don't know. Time is all meshing together now. But I'm pretty sure it was Casey, and one of the points that he made about Lux is that this is a kid who was a lifetime, like a career shortstop up until they threw him at second base. And the idea was that move to second base kind of really, maybe we can say, set him back a couple of years. He's not only learning a new position and trying to succeed at the major league level, but he's also somebody that very, very clearly does not have the strongest mental game. He's getting better. He's working on it. We've seen it over the years. But things get to him and things kind of linger. And he's somebody who will take an error potentially into the batter's box. He's still young. He's still got time to improve. What I saw out of him last spring training before the knee injury, you saw a dude who was hungry. He was angry. He wanted to be better. And the injury could not have happened at a worse time in his career. But I think he's going to be even hungrier and even angrier this year. So I'm on board with the Lux train. I'm not going to say that I'm very, very excited about him being at shortstop, but it's what they have right now until they decide to do something else. But I'll push that button and we'll be like, ta-da, he did okay or better. I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be an all-star season, but Dodgers 2080 Tim says Muncie and I both need to lose 30 pounds. I'll join you guys, all right? Respectfully. James Mancia saying seeing Muncie pick up grouper. I'm assuming grounders with his bare hand is a nightmare. He's not. Yeah, it doesn't have the greatest of hands. We've seen that. We kind of saw like some of his errors, some of his bad plays or misplays were kind of like right to the glove. And third base is hard. Well, I will tell you that third base is hard. Andrew says Max should work on his arm accuracy. I'm really hoping that was a big focus. That has been a big focus for him this offseason. And again, knowing the way Max is, I think it is. I think he really went all in. How could you not? How, as Max Muncy, I mean, this is a dude who showed this team, hey, I want to be here. Let's work out an extension. I don't need to get paid my market value. here, save some money and go out and go get a Shohei, go get a Glasnow, go get a Yoshi Yamamoto. And he's a dude who wants to do his part. He wants to, I guess we'll say, pull his weight for the team and get better at third base. So have some faith in Max Muncy this year, guys. I'm gonna go completely flipped from what I did on Blue Heaven all last year. I'm all pro Muncy. It's gonna happen. He's gonna be one of the top 35 defensive third baseman in the game. Did not really. I almost went out on a limb, and I really chicken shitted out on that one. Caleb says, I like this point. He says, can Shohei play all positions but catcher first and second? That'd solve everything. Hey, as soon as he can throw him at third, throw him at short. He says he's open to left by September. Shohei will do it all. We've seen him play some right field in some highlights you see on the internet machine here and there. And I would be interested. It would be exciting. I hope he's open, honestly. I hope Shohei is open to being more than a DH as his Dodger career progresses. Because we know what he can do. You know he can go out and pitch. You know he can hit, and he can do that on the same day and immediately after and all that. But to add to the versatility, let him be the new Kike Hernandez, or let him be the new who was somebody that pitched. I'm going to go with Russell Martin, because why not? That's the guy. But who was somebody that pitched a lot? Hanser Alberto? Is that what we're going with? Thank you. Mike and Kim in the chat said, what's up, Clint? What is going on, Mike and Kim? Thanks for hanging out with us. Shane Rochester, a little while ago, says, I could be wrong, but everyone had the Braves winning the World Series with basically the same team. I don't know if you're talking about last year or this year. Of course, the Braves swung, I don't know if it's a big deal. They swung a deal. They got a name, Chris Sale, going over there, traded away a shortstop prospect. I don't really have many thoughts about it. We haven't seen much of Chris Sale since he struck out Manny Machado in the 2018 World Series, so we'll see how that works out. But, Braves kind of have the same issue the Dodgers have had. They build really, really good regular season teams and get their ass beat in the postseason. So is Chris Sale going to be the fixer, the stopper? Be even on the mound? We'll find out in about 8 months? Something like that. I don't know. Johnny Chingas in the chat says, FRG just hopped on. Let me rewind and see what I missed. All right, we'll start from the beginning. In the beginning, this is a while ago. Let me scroll a little bit more. A lot of people love to, I don't know about hate, but people love to dislike. They love to crap on my guy Max Muncy. And, it's I guess it's part of the game or something. Big RR64 says, Miller has great, I don't know what Miller, which Miller, Bobby Miller? Or we're talking Bueller, okay. I hope Bueller, going back to Walker, Bueller has a great season, stays healthy, and they resign him, but I doubt he's going to want a ton of money. I would love to see a really, really good season out of Walker Bueller and him earn an extension from this team, but I am a little worried about where Walker stands, or where he sits in the grand scheme of things for this front office. Where is he at on the big board going forward? I don't know. Looking at some of the moves, especially if they signed Imanaga, it's kind of maybe 50-50 at that point that Walker Bueller is a Dodger in 2025. Maybe a little bit better than 50-50. I think he really likes being a Dodger. Tim, Dodgers 2080 a little while ago. We're talking more Juan Soto, and I saw a few comments going off. Tim says Dodgers are going to they're going to unload some prospects at the deadline for Juan Soto when the Yankees tank. Am I like one of the only ones that doesn't really want Juan Soto as a Dodger? Like, yeah, it'd be cool, but I'm not like, I need to see that happen. Maybe that's just me. I know some folks had James Mancia says, please, no, we do not need Soto. Please, God, LA, do not go after Juan Soto. I don't think this team will. They're going to be in the market, but they're going to be in the market the same way they were in the market with Aaron Judge at their number. Same way they were in the market with Corey Seager at their number. They have their guys. We know they have their guys they'll go all in on. But I don't know what Juan Soto is a Dodger. He felt more like a Dodger in 2022, at the All-Star game in LA. He felt more like a Dodger than maybe it's just the Padres taint That's a clip right there. But I think he's got some of that. The Padre taint took away some of the sheen. None220 says, yeah, no thanks on Soto. Adam818 is in the chat. What's going on, Adam? Appreciate you hanging out. Mike Link says, hey, if Jake Berger can play third base, then Max Muncy can play third base. You know what? If you could dodge a wrench, you could play third base or something. I think that's how that goes. And then also laughs at the idea of it ended up being Max Muncy on there. Zella Zoom making predictions. Yamamoto gets Rookie of the Year, Cy Young MVP, and Ohtani gets the World Series MVP. Oh, that's the wrong one. I didn't want to murder your predictions. I wanted to hype them up. So I like them. Let's go all in on that. I'm not going to put money on it though. In the Vegas. Diane's giving us our update as of a little while ago. Hit that like button. She demands that you guys hit that like button. We got to get to 150 billion likes, and Shota Imanaga and all of your favorite Dodgers will be Dodgers again. That's a bona fide guarantee. Just got to get to that number. AB says, I effing hated the Hanser Alberto era. Hard same. That feels like so damn long ago. Zella Zoom also said, put JD Martinez at third base. Yeah, I really wish we could see that. Like, just people that aren't really good at defense, but really good at hitting. We could just put him somewhere and they figure it out. But now, old man JD, he's not going to do that. More on munchies. All right, I'm gonna shift. A lot of people. There's all the Juan Soto. People do not want Juan Soto, so it's good to know that that we're all on the same page ish. But I'm gonna switch gears because I did say in the lead that we were gonna talk about the Dylan Cease trade market a little bit. So this is not very much, but this is the latest on the Dylan Cease trade market as of, I believe it's this weekend. USA Today's Bob Nightingale, he was on the radio machine. I think it's a Chicago radio station inside the clubhouse. And I guess the White Sox, like any conversations they've had involving trading Dylan Cease have stalled, to quote the article, which I forget what article I did see this in, but this was the quote. The White Sox have talked a little bit with the Yankees, a little bit with the Reds, the Dodgers before they made their trade for Glasnow, but really haven't come close to being motivated to move Dylan Cease. They're just kind of waiting for someone to say, we've really got to get this guy. And they're waiting for somebody to actually want to pay up prospect-wise. Because right now, this is continuing Nightingale, because right now, everything's been very quiet on him. They're waiting for somebody to step up, and nobody has. My quick thought on that, I don't think Dylan Cease is being traded this winter. I don't even really think Corbin Burns. I think there's a better chance of Corbin Burns being traded than Dylan Cease, but I don't think Cease is getting traded. He feels like, well, one, just always remember the White Sox don't do anything right, but he feels like a trade deadline guy. The White Sox are going to pretend like they're competing a little bit. They're going to be very, very trash again in 2024. And then they're going to trade away Cease at the deadline and probably not really get that good of a haul back. So, you guys want to see Dylan Cease? Let's go. Drop in them comments below. Also, a really good point here from Diane. Like and subscribe, guys. If you subscribe, that's cool. That's all I got. It's free. Just wanted you to know that. Sarah Morris back on Soto says no on Soto. She says he has too much drama. He's definitely a diva vibe. He's like Scott Boras, like personified as a player. I don't know if that's not accurate, but Ronnie wants the Dodgers to re-sign Clayton Kershaw to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. I don't think that one's going to happen. He's going to get money. He's probably going to get another $20-25 million deal if he comes back to LA. But if that re-signing is happening, it's not happening until the Dodgers, until teams are able to put players on the 60-man injured list, because then they open up a bunch of roster spots. So we're not going to see a whole lot happen for a while because the Dodgers have like zero roster spot to play with right now. Jonathan asked, when is the Imanaga posting window up? I mentioned that earlier. That is January 11th. So that is next Thursday. He would need to decide on a new team, or he's going back to Yokohama to play for the Bay Stars for one more season. Victor Fuentes, we want Randy Arozarena. That is still my guy. I would love that. But that one maybe. Well, I'll give it 9% chance of happening. Could happen. Very unlikely. Elif wants the Dodgers to sign Sammy Sosa. Cheater! Because of the whole corking and the steroids, but mainly the corking. People talking about Josh Hader in the chat. I did a whole video about that on Friday. Check it out if you haven't. I'll link it in the description. Short. Hader would be nice. He gives his team what they need in a left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen, because they don't have anybody that you can really, really rely on. Sorry, Alex Vesia. But I think they can spend their money better. I would rather see them save the $21 million a year he's trying to get, pocket that, and use that potentially at the trade deadline. Big RR64 says White Sox are a terrible organization, and we'll give that because that was a money take. People hanging out in the chat, appreciate you guys. If you got anything you wanted to talk about, drop it in the comments. I did want to shift gears because this was going to be, it's a January 1st show. We weren't going to be overly in depth. We're going to have some fun. We knew we were going to talk about a good amount about Imanaga. The rumors right now, they're very slow. They're very thin. Not much is going on, but it's the new year, which means there's a new baseball season coming up just around the corner. So I wanted to completely shift gears, and I want you guys to help me fuel this segment. What are you guys looking forward to as Dodgers fans this year? There's a whole world of possibilities, a whole new world, whole fantastic point of view, or new fan, whatever they say in the song. But you have Shohei Ohtani. I'll open us up. One of the things I'm looking forward to as a Dodger fan this year is Shohei Ohtani hitting his first Dodgers home run in LA. Not even in LA, but just like his first home run as a Dodger. It could be in LA, it could be wherever the hell it's at, but I really hope it's going to be in LA. I want to see the Freddie Freeman vibes that we got after Freddie got, I think it was his first double in 2022, and Dodger Stadium erupted, and he had the tear in his eye. He had the Freddie. The good thing about Shohei is Shohei. That works. You got to have the two syllables, and then it works. Mookie. That's why it works. Muncy works. We've heard it. That funky Muncy. But let's go. Let's get some of your guys' thoughts. I'm very interested in seeing what people are really excited about. I mentioned Kershaw, and now there's a number of Kershaw comments. Give it time. Give the Kershaw time. He will be back. Unless he's not. Where are we at? Adam818 says, I'm going to go with it. I don't know if this is what we're looking forward to, but he says 2024 is the Dodgers' year. Hey, Dodgers in 4. Let's go. This is Dodgers' year. You guys remember the comment from, or the tweet from Walker Buehler like 3 years ago that he was forced to take down immediately. Dodgers' year, 2024. What are we looking for? Steve A says the new era and energy. This is going to be a different feeling team. And if you think back to just 2 years ago with the Justin Turner, Trey Turner roster, a little bit before that, Cody Bellinger, and just really how much this team would have changed in those couple of years is kind of insane to think about, and it also makes you feel really old, and you just feel the void at the end of time coming after you. But this is gonna be a fun team. This is gonna be a really good team, unless it's not. But it's gonna be a really good team because you have the right kind of vibes. Gavin Lux will be back. He's a big time vibes guy. I wonder what they're gonna bring back. Are we doing this again? Are we doing the Freddie? I hope they don't do the Freddie again. But that's something I'm looking forward to. What's gonna be the new celebration? Another thing I'm looking forward to is watching the competition build in the rotation, because when you get guys that are viewed as aces, they want to outduel each other. So Yamamoto, Glasnow, Buehler, Bobby Miller, throw him in there if you get Kershaw back at some point. Just saying, that could be electric if you see that staff really trying to challenge one another and go for something like that. Rebecca Romero in the chat. What is going on, Rebecca? Good to see your name hanging out with us. She says World Series. That is what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that parade as well. Looking forward to dancing in the streets like Tommy. I like Sweaty Raider. It's a 70 home run season. For who? Is it just Shohei? Why not Lux? Give Lux 70 homer. He bulked up, last offseason. Soul Bro 1 says Margot stealing home. I love it. Shout out, Manuel Margot. Appreciate the free out. Chuck, bringing us back down to reality, says people are going to lose their shit when the Dodgers come up short again in 2024. It's a reality. It's definitely a reality. I think if it happens, it would probably be for a better reason than the last 2 years where they just stopped remembering how to play baseball when it turned October. But, when in Rome. Adam 818 says the Dodgers dynasty beginning. The next dynasty, the new dynasty. Another thing I would love to see, I want to see Yamamoto throw a complete game shutout in his what should hopefully be a Rookie of the Year campaign in 2024. Dude's going to be nasty. None 220. I'll just leave it at, he says, I want to see Bauer back. Might get back in the league. Probably won't be back with the Dodgers. Sweaty Raider says Mookie, Freddie, Ohtani back-to-back home runs. Do you think that's going to be the order? I know I've seen the batting order kind of, we'll say, just laid out or whatever, the projected batting order. A lot of people have Shohei batting second. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if they're going to change things up. He hit second a lot for the Angels. I think he led off at a time or two in his time with the Angels. Personally, I would rather leave Freddie in that 2-hole. Mookie, Freddie, Shohei. Shohei batting third. It's pretty damn good. Who are they going to bat behind Shohei? Is it going to be Will Smith? Is Will Smith good enough to be the cleanup hitter behind Shohei Ohtani? I don't know about that. Randy Arozarena would be a nice option leading off. Adam 818 asks, can anyone afford a game? That's what I really want to see in 2024. People be able to afford a game. Hell, afford parking. It's going to be a little pricey. Sarah says, looking forward to February 22nd and seeing Ohtani every day. Day in, day out, we get Showtime in LA, the real LA, and it's going to be fun. It is going to be exciting. Mike M is looking forward to seeing a Yamamoto Cy Young Award. I'm in on that. I'm all the way in on that. Maxwell cannot wait to see the Dodgers get going. Same. Tony Lozado said, go Yankees. I believe you were in the wrong chat, but thank you for hanging out anyways. 300 GJW is interested in how left field plays out. It feels like it's going to be Chris Taylor to start, but hopefully what Ronnie says, just feels like a huge blockbuster trade is coming soon. AB says, I'm tired of Kershaw's wife, bro. I don't know what she did to you, but all right. When in Rome, I be stroking, says Clint, when's the meetup? That's our collective 2024 resolution. We will do something for sure. This is something Diane has tried to will into existence for a couple of years now, a couple of seasons of various shows across different platforms, and we will make it happen. This will be the year. Where, how, when, I don't know. We'll figure that one out. We got time. Still haven't even gone through a month of doing this channel on my own, so we'll establish ourselves. Appreciate you guys, all of your guys' support in December. By the way, it was really, really cool to see, and it makes me, feel good about doing this. I don't want to do this if I'm just here talking to 3 people and feeling like an ass to myself. You guys showed out, and that's awesome. Very much appreciate the love you guys have shown as we get going here. And like I said, I think I said in the last chat, just beginning, man. We got stuff. I got stuff. I got ideas. We got guests. We got special things coming down the pipeline. And one of those things will definitely be a meetup somehow, somewhere, some way. How official we'll make it, I don't know, but we will figure it out. Rebecca is looking forward to taking baby dingers to Dodger Stadium for the first time. Hi, that's gonna be awesome, and going to spring training. I don't know if you guys can afford it. Who the hell makes who makes enough money to go to Dodger Stadium these days? I'm just saying, At least opening day. That's gonna be an insane ticket. I can't wait to see how quick, like when individual game tickets. I don't even think they're on sale yet. I don't know. But what I see, as I was delayed in the chat here, you got a super chat. I don't think I've missed anybody else, but the Right Field Pavilion with a $25 super chat. Right Field Pavilion, I appreciate you. Says, ring that gong. I look forward to seeing the Dodgers break the Blue Jays' 1991 record in attendance, 4 million plus. Hands down, that is happening. That is guarantee that this team will destroy that frickin' record. They've been close. Didn't they do it? Wait, didn't they get 4 million? Or they were just shy of 4 million a couple of years back. I think it was that 2019 or something. That is going to be fun to see. It's also going to be annoying because I hate big crowded games, and you'll usually find me at a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday game where there's nobody there. It's more fun. Let me let me vibe in my own little bubble. Not have to get around people, not have to struggle to get in and out of the stadium. That's what I'm about. James Hayes hyping me up, says, Clint, you are the man. Appreciate you, James. No Nate 220 says Angels franchise as a joke. Artie really should have sold that goddamn team. Camellia, I'm messing it up, but the comment is Imanaga to LAD to the Dodgers. Seriously? Maybe. There are reports, there are rumors. You got to go back and check it out. Roy Estrada said, Clint, an ass to yourself makes you a donkey. Thank you. There it is. Adam 818, Mrs. Vin and Mrs. Tommy. Hey, let's go win the championship this year for them. Dodger fan for life says you're not with Dodgers Nation anymore. Ding, ding, ding. That kind of worked. I'm not, but we will have our friend Doug McCain with me on the channel tomorrow, unless he's dead. Hopefully he's not dead, but he's going to be joining us tomorrow. Should be a 7:00 chat. I figure now's as good a time as any to make sure I rest up my voice for an exciting Doug chat. But I do want to say I got some really cool stuff planned for this week. I'm hoping I'm able to get it all in and get it all out on the channel. Best way to find out that I do is to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because that's the best way to be alerted of whenever we do go live. I don't know if we're doing two or three streams this week. It depends if something big happens. We'll do a Thursday. We might just do Monday, Tuesday. I don't know yet, but I'm here, and I'm ready for 2024 excitement in Dodger Blue at Dodger Stadium. And as we get ready to head out, John Bleeding Blue, $2 super chat. Thank you, John. Says, great to have you talking Dodger baseball again. I appreciate you, John. Always appreciate the love and support from you guys. And, it's fun doing this. It's really fun talking to you guys once again. James says, Clint, let's talk about Adam Duvall in right field. Well, they already have a right fielder with Jason Hayward is his name. This is the human fella's name. And they seem really in on that. And then Manuel Margot, I liked the idea of Duvall. I don't think they're going to, I don't know that they're going to I don't know if they're going to make that signing. I don't know if they need somebody like an Adam Duvall. But on the other hand, I really like the idea of adding right-handed thump in the lineup, knowing that you could probably get him on a 1-year deal. I would love to see it because it doesn't hurt, and it's not going to be all of the world's money to make it happen. Holy shit. Oh, James said left field. And now we're talking. I would love to see Adam Duvall in left field. Make it happen. Money. And my friend, Mr. Joseph Reyes, Moneybags as we call him, throws a $50 super chat my way. Thanks, bud. Appreciate you. There's no comment. Well, there is a comment. It says, keep killing it, bro. Appreciate you, Mr. Reyes. I'll buy you your first beer next time I see you. I promise. I ended up with $50 in my pocket. So, but I think that'll be about time to get the hell out of here. Diane says, hit that like button, subscribe. It's free, and that is the truth. It is totally free to subscribe. It's totally free to like, and it's totally free to hit that notification bell to make sure that you're here the whole way, the whole year long. We're just getting started. Don't call it a comeback. We've been here for years. Guys, I am Real FRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram, right here on your YouTube machine. If you guys can't watch these shows live or watch on YouTube, I have a podcast. Check it out. We have the podcast platforms, the Apple Podcast or the iTunes, as you say it, the Spotify, the iHeartRadio. Those are the only ones I'm probably going to stick to. Go subscribe, leave a review there if you can. That's like leaving a thumbs up, but in review form. 5 stars is always encouraged. Just saying. But again, thank you for the support. Thank you so much for the super chats today, guys. That's awesome. I wasn't 100% sure about doing a January 1st show because maybe we got hangovers, but you guys rocked it in the chat again. You guys are fucking cool. Appreciate you guys. Again, really good stuff coming this week. Stay tuned. Tuesday, my old co-host, my good friend Doug McCain, will be joining us here on All Dodgers Live. Bye.